Hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version. So this time, what I'm going to talk about is how to create a business scheme. And so, of course, there are many types of businesses, and moreover, I'm not a professional, nor I'm not an expert of business itself. So, which is why, so what I'm going to tell you is how to create a business scheme, extremely rough version. So what I'm going to tell you is extremely rough version of how to create a business scheme or how to create a business. So I'm thinking of using an example of blog business or website business, which means But the example I'm going to use is a business using blog and websites or website creations, for example. So because so by using that example, so I think it's really easy for you to understand how to create business. And so some people are not so good at creating business schemes or business systems. And what you have to start with, what you have to do is to create a system for earning money or for generating benefits. So how should I say? So I have wondered how to explain how to create a business, because so it's really easy and it's really difficult. So I have a degree of university, but actually, so I have graduated on university, but actually, so so it's not so difficult for me, but it's not so difficult for me, but actually, it's not so difficult for people who have not graduated from universities, or which means how to create business is not so easy. Actually, how to create business is difficult for me, but so if you ask me whether it's extremely difficult to create a business or not, so I don't think business creation is extremely difficult. I don't think business creation is extremely difficult. Not so difficult, but not so easy. But actually, so the difficulty of creating business is not related to how well you can perform on studying, or how well you can perform on test taking, or how well you can perform examinations or paper tests. So which is why so some people with for example bachelor degrees of universities find creating business really difficult. But actually some people who do not have degrees of universities may find creating business really easy. So it's up to whether you can understand it. It's up to whether you have some amount or smidge amount of good luck, and whether it's up to, so whether you can create beneficial businesses or not is up to whether you can get some small amount of good luck, and whether you can get earnable skills or not, or whether you can get really fruitful environments enabling you to create great business schemes or not. Such an element is really important, or such a thing is really important for creating businesses. So let me come back to the original topic. So how to create business scheme. So roughly, not roughly saying. So what you have to do is to, as I told you minutes before. So as I told you, what you have to do is to create a system for earning benefits or generating benefits. So to generate benefit, to generate the benefit, what you need is revenue or income coming into the system you are going to create. So in this case, so I think it's easier for you to tell, it's easier for you to think about the how to calculate the benefit. So the calculation, how to calculate is business equal revenue or income minus cost. So to make the business scheme or the business system tick. So it's necessary to pay money for cost. So it's so just to keep the business working, or just to maintain the system for generating money. So it's necessary to pay costs. So which is why of course it's needless to say. I don't think it's necessary to say, but it's necessary to make the system work, and it's necessary to make the system earn, or it's necessary to make the system generate or produce a lot of money. But actually it's necessary to pay some costs for maintaining the system of business. Which is why I said it's so how to calculate benefits. How to calculate the benefit is so income minus cost equal benefit, which is what I said, and that calculation, or that formula, or that equation is the essence of business, which means that so making the benefit plus is what you have to do to earn a lot of money. So in this phase, I'd like to use an example of blog monetization. Not this might be a kind of blog monetization, but in this phase, what I'd like to tell you is how to make your blog larger, or how to enlarge your blog. So for example, please imagine that you create a blog. So you launched a blog, and for example, if your first name is Melinda, for example, it's Melinda's blog. Melinda's blog. Anything is fine. If your first name is not Melinda, it's also fine. So if your first name is for example, so Svetlana, so Svetlana's blog is fine. So in which case, what you have to do is to write some articles. But actually, so here comes the problem. So are you going to work forever, or are you going to keep writing, or are you going to keep creating articles for your own blog? So in this case, so of course in the case of creating the blog, so you have to write some articles at first by yourself. But actually, so if you get once you get used to, after you're getting used to creating your own articles, so what you have to do next is to create a manual or create a procedure for other people to create articles in favor of, or for the sake of the blog you launched. Which is what you have to do. So I'm going to tell you in other words. So at first you have to work by yourself, but actually, or at first you have to work by yourselves, but after which, so what you have to seek is to use other people, or ask other people to do works for you. So which means you have, so at first you have, just after launching your own blog, so next stuff you have to imagine is how to ask other people to create articles of your blog. So maybe at first after launching your blog, and after launching your blog, you write the first article, and you are going to write the second one. And after, in which manner you are going to write some articles for the blog you have launched. But actually, so if you continue if you continuously write, or if you can continuously write or create articles, so I think you can get used to writing articles, and you can understand what to write and how to write articles or pages for blogs. Which on which stage what you should think about is how to how how to how to ask other people to write articles which is suitable for your blog, and to enable to ask other people to create articles for your blog. So what you have to do is to create a procedure or manual or procedures or manuals to ask other people to write articles. And this is of course, I said I was going to use an example of blog and web pages, and this is of course this is the case to creating web pages. So it's fine to launch a web page, or it's fine to launch a website, and it's fine to ask other people to create web pages, composing the website. Composing the website. What you have to do is to ask other people to create web pages for the website you have launched, which is what you have to think about, and which is what you have to do to enlarge or to make the website larger, and to make the benefit coming into the website larger. So which is what So that is extremely roughly saying. Just that thing I have just explained is how to create a business, or how to create a business scheme. And so in this example, so that or those blogs and those websites are those blogs and those websites are the systems for generating money or producing money. So in this episode, so I'd like you to imagine who to ask to create articles. So so if you whether your mother tongue is English or not, so I recommend you asking for foreigners or people living in, for example, developing country to create some articles if it's possible. Of course, it's fine to ask other people in your country to create articles for your blog. But actually, so if you can understand the English language, I recommend you asking some people in developing country to create articles in favor of your blogs and your websites. And so what I recommend is to ask Asian people to create some articles or blogs. So that is because Asian people are compared to other people. Asian people tend to be, or Asian people are likely to be not famous but serious or industrious. So for example, so of course of course Asian languages are different from Western European languages, but actually so some Asian people can handle English language. For example, Malaysian people and maybe Singaporean people can handle English really well, and Vietnamese people are fairly good at English language, and South Korean people are good at English language. And in the case of other countries of Asia, so maybe Malaysian people are maybe it's best at using the English language. But so why I introduced those countries to you is because the local people in those in those countries do not get higher paychecks. Of course, paychecks of Singaporean people are really high, and of course, paychecks of South Korean people are really high because Singapore and South Korea are developed countries, but Malaysia and Malaysia and Vietnam are not are developing country. Malaysia and Vietnam are not developed country, which is why the paychecks of the local people in those two countries are not high, which is why so you can and I forgot the Philippines. I forgot the Philippines and Malaysia, Philippines and Vietnam do not pay high wages or high paychecks for the local people, which is why I recommend you asking those people to create articles, because you do not have to pay a lot of money for creating articles. So like which what I recommend you is to ask other people with lower incomes to create articles, which is how you can get a lot of benefit. You of course you have to take some works from companies or some people in developed countries, and if you take some requests or if you take some orders of works, so it's fine to ask other people living in developing country to create articles or to do works related to your system you create. So by asking those people in developing country to work, so you can get a lot of benefits, because so what you have to enlarge is benefit, and to enlarge benefit you have to reduce the cost, which is, so in this case cost is the money you have to pay for workers living in developing country, and what you have to increase is the revenue or the income you can get by fulfilling or by satisfying the orders of works you can take from people or companies in developed countries, like which you can create your own businesses, and you can become richer people in your countries. So roughly saying, so coming back to the original topic of this episode, so coming back to the original episode, how to create businesses, stuff like that. What you have to do is to create your own system, and so what you have to do is to enlarge the benefits, and how to calculate benefit is, so income or revenue minus cost, which is benefit. So at last, let me introduce a case of Azteca Empire, or Empire Azteca, which was collapsed in 16th century. So I don't know whether world history or not, but actually, so in 16th century, Spaniards or ancient Spanish people came to American continent, and at first the indigenous people in Azteca Empire or Empire Azteca found those Spanish people god, which is why at first those indigenous people worshipped those white Spanish people, but after as history tells, or as so the Empire Azteca was collapsed by Hernan Cortes, Mr. Hernan Cortes, and so which is how Spain could get wide colonies in American continent or America's continent. And what I'd like you to know in this part is that, so some Asian people worship white people, which is why if you are colored people, so I'm sorry, if you have to be smart to be worshipped. But if you are white people, so Asian people may worship you because you are white people, which is what I'd like you to notice. Which is also what I'd like you to know this time. So, but in this episode, what you need is to know how to create business. So, and please make sure that this is an extremely rough version of how to create business. So that's it. Thank you very much for your listening. See you.